What up, you crazy mofos? Mad Viking back again with some predictions here for this Sunday's Survivor Series pay-per-view. It's kind of going back to the old school traditional pay-per-view format, but not really. It's because, obviously there's two brands and they're split. This is technically what they should be doing on Night of Champions with some of these matches. But I guess this is their way of, trying to bring some excitement back to what used to be one of the big four pay-per-views of the WWE, which was always Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and, come on. SummerSlam. And, of course, over the years, they've waned, and really now, I would say the only big pay-per-view anymore is WWE, and some pay-per-views are just hit and miss, but the classic four, no matter what, were always the big ones, and Survivor Series was one of them. Like I said, they're going back to the old school format with some of these matches, but not all of them. This one right here, well, actually, first off, there is a kickoff match between Cruiserweight Champion Enzo Amore versus Kalisto. Whoop-de-doo, nobody cares. What is that? Their fourth time fighting already. Don't think the belt's going to change hands there. I'm sure Enzo's going to keep a hold of it. There's some news in that division, but I'm going to bring that up in my news video. I'll discuss it later. But right here we have Raw Tag Team Champions Sheamus and Cesaro. Whatever happened to Cesaro's contract expiring soon? That was quite a while ago, and he's still around, and you don't hear anything about that anymore. You don't hear that he's re-signed either. Cesaro and Sheamus, Raw Tag Team Champions versus the Usos, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Usos put on they perform awesome on pay-per-views. Cesaro and Sheamus aren't any slackers either. So if the WWE, and there's not a lot of other matches on this card, so I'm assuming these guys are going to get at least 20 minutes to wrestle. So that means they should be able to tell a good story and put on a good performance, one would think. It's hard to say who's going to win this. Neither titles are on the line, so a win or a loss to either side doesn't really matter. All it is bragging rights, really. I want to say the Usos are going to win, just because, like I said, supposedly Cesaro is leaving at some point. Why are you going to push that tag team? And if he really does leave, supposedly Sheamus is going back into the main event picture. So, of course, why would you push that tag team or give them, this type of important win? The Usos are obviously a tag team for a while yet, if they ever break up. So you'd want to build them up some more. So I'm expecting a good match here. Should be an A+ match. But I'm going to go with the Usos. Next match on the card is Raw's Intercontinental Champion, The Miz versus SmackDown's United States Champion, Baron Corbin. Where is Baron's hair gone? That's all I gotta say, man. And he is still a young pup. Makes you wonder, man. But anyway, this has really been an interesting feud, Twitter-wise. If you've been missing it, The Miz and Baron Corbin have been going back and forth. And as The Miz does, he's just been destroying destroying Baron Corbin. He's been doing it on TV too, but he's gotten to let loose more on Twitter. Especially when Baron Corbin mentioned Miz's wife, Maurice. The follow-up to that video, or his response to that video, was pretty intense. It was pretty damn good. Like I said, The Miz should be doing something other than continually holding that Intercontinental title. He's beyond that division, or that level. He should be in the main event, period. He needs to win this, in my eyes, have another little decent run with the title, and he needs to move on into the main event picture. But granted, people are going to say Baron Corbin needs to win this too. But like I said, it doesn't matter who wins and loses this. This is just for bragging rights. But beating The Miz would certainly help Baron Corbin. The Miz beating Baron Corbin, that's just a notch in his belt. It's not a big deal. I don't know. Baron Corbin has shown moments of perfection in matches in this past year. Miz is good when they give him time to be good, which I'm assuming all these matches are going to have a decent amount of time because there's not a lot of, like I said before, matches on the card. My heart says go with Miz, but I don't know, man. This one's tough. I'm just going to say Miz. I'm going to Miz over Baron Corbin. But like I said, I could be wrong. Oop. Let's see if we can get everybody in there. Oop, not brightness. Ooh, I'm getting... Hang in there. Well, next match on the card, while I'm trying to get the brightness button off. Next match on the card is a 10-man, 10-woman. I wouldn't call it a tag team match. This is a Brand vs. Brands women's division match. 5-on-5. The little open spot there was supposed to be Charlotte, but Charlotte beat Natalya in a last-minute title change. That wasn't even supposed to happen, but it did. So now it's up in the air on who that person should be, which makes me wonder because a certain person didn't show up on Raw this past Monday, and she was originally supposed to come back and join the SmackDown brand. So I'm wondering if it's going to be that person. But in all reality, it should be Natalya. How can you not put her in there? She just came off of a championship run. I would throw her in there. But yeah, it's probably going to be that person that it's supposed to be on Raw. But boy, is that going to make things awkward with, well, I don't have to name names, but he's in a trio of men. But if I remember right, last year's match with the women, SmackDown lost to Raw. Unless it's that person coming back in with some hype, I don't know. Raw looks more stacked than SmackDown. If Natalya was in there, I don't know. It might be close. This one's, like I said, if that person doesn't show up for SmackDown, that's remaining nameless. I'm going to say Raw wins. If Natalya's put in there, I'm still going to say Raw wins. If that person that's coming back, that's supposed to be back, I should have said correctly, is on Team SmackDown, SmackDown wins. If she's not on it, I'm predicting Raw wins. Now, this is kind of going back to the classic Survivor Series format, except both teams are -1 man. But this should be a very good match, too, one would think. New Day versus the Shield, the United Shield. Roman Reigns coming back from his long tenure of mumps. Hard to say, too. I would maybe say... Jeez. I don't know. I want to say maybe the New Day would win because they would maybe possibly need a big rub like that, but I don't think they're breaking up anytime soon to need a type of rub like that. The rumors are true. The Shield is not sticking together very long, and I'm not even going to get into it. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. Maybe it happens here at a Survivor Series, but I don't know. Technically, this is their first big match back, so why would they lose it? New Day's had a hell of a run, so it's really not going to hurt them any to be knocked down a peg with a loss. So I don't know. I'm going to go. The Shield wins this one. I'm going to give that a big thumbs up. Shield over New Day. And like I said, this Thursday's title match between Natalya and Charlotte wasn't even supposed to happen. It was supposed to be. Oh, geez, come on. Well, I'm having a brain fart. It wasn't even supposed to be a title match, but it ended up being a title match because they're blaming the low ratings on the current champions, and so they just felt they needed to strip them, I guess. But really, you can't blame Jinder and you can't blame Natalya because Raw has the same bad ratings. But the titles were pulled off of both those champions here in the last week. Charlotte's back to being champion. So this changed it from Natalya to Bliss, which I thought would have been a great match, to now we get Charlotte Flair, what is it, the 5-6-time World Women's Champion versus Bliss. I think this is going to kind of be an awkward match because size-wise, yeah, I don't think Flair is going to get a lot of her flips and flops in, that she likes to do, because she's basically wrestling legally, almost a legal-sized midget in Alexa Bliss. I don't know what it is. Maybe because Natalya's out of the picture, I'm not really thrilled about this match. But I'm going to say they're probably gonna let Charlotte beat Bliss. Granted, it's not a title. It's not title versus title. But she's fresh off her title win, so they're going to want to start giving her a big, huge push again. And it would certainly help her if she continues to look dominant in the women's division by beating the Raw's women's current champion. So, yeah, that's my pick. Charlotte over Bliss. Here we go. Raw vs. SmackDown. 5-on-5. Traditional Survivor Series match. Of course, we got Bobby Roode, Orton, Shane, Cena, and Shinsuke for SmackDown. We have Samoa Joe, Triple H, Kurt Angle, Braun, and Finn Balor for Raw. Of course, they had to interject the newly returned John Cena, who was supposed to be a ref for the main event of Survivor Series. And somehow Triple H is now back out of retirement and taking up roster spaces. So they, they're interjected here. It's nice to see Kurt Angle wrestling. It should be good on paper, but it's going to be your typical cluster F of a match because there's so many people in it. It's going to be generally a lot of people laying around the outside of the ring. You've heard me say this many times before. It's going to start off, I'm sure, with them all fighting at once in the ring. The ring clears of just one guy, and everybody lays around the ring and waits for their turns to jump in and start fighting. And that's going to be the whole match until one by one they all get pinned out and they can stand on the apron and not have a wall of flesh blocking the audience's view. I would say Raw looks like it's very well stacked. For sure. I don't know where they're going. I didn't read any of the Survivor Series spoilers on the teams and who was supposed to win. But if I say Raw's supposed to win, which you'd think they're going to win, I mean, they don't have anybody that's supposed to combat Braun on SmackDown's team. Not that I even think they have anybody on their roster that's like a Braun. So yeah, I guess they are kind of screwed unless he's supposed to be matched by Super Cena. So I don't know. I'm going to say Raw wins this. I mean, Shane has a horrible record since he's been back on winning on pay-per-views, and I'm just not impressed with the team. AJ should have been on it, but you know what happened with that. So I'm going to stick with Raw. Raw wins. And of course, this will be the main event. There's no question about it. Raw's heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar versus SmackDown's heavyweight champion, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. Brock is coming out of his hiatus of wrestling once every blue moon to face his first time ever opponent, AJ Styles, which would be a dream match. I don't know why they've wasted this for, I guess SummerSlam. I mean, it's SummerSlam. Survivor Series is one of the big four, but this really should be like a WrestleMania. In my eyes, this match should be SummerSlam or WrestleMania. But who am I to judge, right? This one's going to be an odd match. Brock's going to be towering over AJ, but it's going to be the big man versus little man type match. AJ is going to be faster and outwit him, blah, 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 blah. He's going to be beating him with his aerial moves. But is he going to beat Brock Lesnar? I'm going to say no. Just because, yeah, AJ may be the champion right now, but they do weird stuff with AJ. Like have him lose to James Ellsworth 3 times in a row. They would have never done that with Triple H. They would have never done that with Randy Orton. They would have never done that with John Cena. That was the only time that James Ellsworth was pissing me off because it was driving me nuts as such an AJ Styles fan that he had to go through that bullshit. And they certainly wouldn't have done with Brock. I can tell you that either. That's what I'm getting at. Yes, AJ is considered a main eventer. He's considered a star, but they make him do that hokey type crap that they used to make Kurt Angle do back in the day. Brock is still supposed to be this bulldozer, indestructible superhero on his way to WrestleMania, where he's going to take a dive, if that's still on written in blood for Mr. Roman Reigns. So I'm going to say this is going to be a great match. It should be a great match. I say it all the time on these things, and so many of these great matches turn out to be just absolute duds. But this should be a great match. But I think it's pretty safe to say that Brock Lesnar is going to defeat AJ Styles. But boy, would I love to see AJ win. But if he beats Brock, man, woo, boy, that's going to be the shocker of this pay-per-view. But that's it for now, guys. If you haven't noticed, I put out some great stuff this last week, man. I got some new Ring of Honor videos, and I went to Hogan's Beach Shop in Orlando the next day afterwards and got that down on tape. I would appreciate some views. I know a lot of you have already seen it. But I don't know. That's it for now. I will have my live reactions on Sunday. Yeah, I hit 300 recently, so kudos to that. Actually, I hit 301 recently, but the next day the 1 disappeared. So, yay me, 300. Thanks for all the people who are subscribed. I just want to say that. Like I said, hit like, leave a comment, share, hit that notification button, follow me on Instagram, and like I said, I will be live on Sunday. I might be live for the whole event again. That got me some new subscribers, and it actually kept me awake throughout the whole pay-per-view. So, so I might be doing that again. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Like I said, leave a comment. Tell me what you think of this pay-per-view. Share, whatever. Mad Viking out. Catch you guys on the flip.